Hi guys, welcome back. All right, Virgos. I was gonna do a bonus for you guys of what's coming up tomorrow, but I really want this deck, which is a more complicated deck. So don't ask me why. We have a Knight of Swords. Okay, well we may have somebody making a sudden decision, a snap decision. Um, Sometimes I look at this as like a villain in a top hat. Doesn't have to be, but we do have this elephant on long, spindly legs, way, way, way in the back. You almost can't see them. So there's something about a memory. This could be somebody from Virgo's past popping up. We are in the tail end of Mercury retrograde. This could be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Somebody who's going to send a message that, frankly, could be unpleasant because we see the scissors here. Like maybe they're actually going to send an unkind message, or no, we have a Five of Wands. I think it's just going to be a freaking confusing message. And we have the Knight of Soup, or the Knight of Soup, the Knight of Cups in a soup can. Um, oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like this is going to be really confusing for Virgo to even maybe to figure out what this person is saying. I feel like somebody sends a sudden message to Virgo, and Virgo doesn't know if they're trying to say goodbye or if they're trying to say that they love Virgo. We have kind of like an Andy Warhol, like artistic kind of, vibe here. We have with this Five of Wands. I feel like Virgo's not going to know what to make of it, heads or tails. Two of Cups. And it's interesting because these two sit in this jacuzzi, right? Oh God, love that new song by The Voids, Unholy Lover. I'm a producer and a jacuzzi. Sorry, that's one component of the song, but love The Voids. Their whole new Megs of Ram is awesome. Their new EP. But I see this. These two people have these like little steam towels around their faces, like a luxurious, facial treatment. And they're sitting here in what they think is this lovely jacuzzi, but it's just a cardboard box, which of course means it's going to like spring open. And, as cardboard gets wet, we all know just like pretty much disintegrates. But it's like they don't know it. They also don't know who they're really talking to because they can't see each other. This feels like Virgo's going to be like, what the heck? I don't get what's going on here. Is this person telling me that they care about me, that they don't care about me? Is this person saying that even though we don't know each other, we're a powerful connection, but I know nothing would happen with this. So I'm writing to tell you that I love you, but I don't know you, but nothing's going to happen here anyway. So goodbye before it even begins. I mean, this feels like somebody is almost like cry for help kind of energy. Like, I care about you. I wish something could happen here, but I don't know what to say about this. So, Virgo, will you please ground this and respond in a way that all of these thoughts that I have that I'm trying to put out there that I then discount immediately, maybe you can take it and you can say, here's what I'm going to, how I'm going to respond. Here's how I feel about this. It feels like this is somebody who wants Virgo, plain and simple, but they are trying to convince themselves that it doesn't make any sense and that it won't work. And so, of course, there's no reason for this. But really, we got the Death card upright. We got the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. They've reached this point where they can't hold this inside anymore. They just can't. They got to say what they got to say. They wish everything was different, but they're like asking Virgo to make it different. It's like they're coming in and they're doing this sudden spill of their emotions, what they think about something, and then trying to discount it at the same time and say, but of course this doesn't mean anything. It's just that it means everything. They want Virgo to take this information, I think, and then put the pieces of the puzzle together. They can't handle the way they're feeling and keeping it inside anymore with that Seven of Coins in the reverse. And even if the Seven of Coins were upright, we can see it's like they're looking at this in this little tree that doesn't seem to grow. They keep trying to water it in some way, but they're just like nothing is working. I feel like maybe they haven't been able to find the right words. So instead they're just going to, it's like I feel this frustration. I feel this love. I feel this artistic, like twist of mind. I feel like they're sick to death of trying to figure out what to say, and they kind of feel foolish for the way they feel. So now they're just going to blurt it all out. And it has like this energy of, I wish Virgo could tell me how they feel about me, but I don't know how to ask Virgo, and I don't know how to present Virgo the way I feel in this emotional state that I'm in, which is like, I care about Virgo. I love this Virgo. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but I feel like there's something special between us, but I don't know what to do with it. Can you please just tell me how you feel? But I think that's the bit that they're not putting out there very plainly. Like, would you please just tell me how you feel? I think instead they're trying to say, so of course I know that this is just a weird rambling message, so feel free to delete it. I feel like that's the way they're going to handle it instead, with this death card and this 7 of Pentacles. Like, I'm not going to write anything else. You can just delete this. That is not what they mean, though. From what I can tell, this is somebody randomly sending out a message about how they actually do feel. And it's emotional and it's sweet, and they're very much like frustrated with how to put this into a context that makes sense even to themselves. And I think they also worry that relationships never work out, especially once they feel deeply about, okay, honey, like, I want to so like cuddle this person, swaddle them right now. Okay, listen, you have beautiful emotions for this Virgo, right? That's a beautiful thing. And the way you feel about Virgo is a freaking gift to anybody. Anytime you feel like somebody is an amazing person that you feel drawn to, especially with this context of, I don't even know them that well. I don't know, as Virgo and this person, have they not really like revealed any of their emotions before? And this is their first, attempt to just go ahead and blurt it out because they're just not good at this. Nobody's good at this. If you are good at this, it's probably because you worked on your lines, right? And then you might be too suave, and it might be a little insincere even. I'm not saying that 100%, but let's just say people that are really good at saying things, sometimes it's because it's rehearsed in its lines. There's nothing rehearsed about this person. Honestly, I like this person. I really like this person, but I also like want to hug them. We have Temperance and we have 7 of Swords. I think this person is someone who has had so many disappointments in love. I think they have put their trust in people that weren't trustworthy before. I think that they have almost said, I've come to, be at peace with the fact that things never work out and that nobody's really very trustworthy. I feel like this is somebody who is wishing that they could. I think they have real emotions, but I think they've been disappointed repetitiously. And this is them in this energy space of, I don't know. I don't know that I even trust anything, but God, it would be amazing if there was somebody out there to trust. But they keep telling themselves that it's never true anyway. Then based off of that, if this person has been disappointed again and again and again with people that are not who they seem to be, then that is particularly brave that they would go ahead and send this message at all to Virgo. Queen of Wands. If this is how they see Virgo, because I do think there's got to be a compliment in here somewhere. If this is how they see Virgo, somebody that is, we have like Frida, like a tip of the hat to the painter Frida here. So perhaps somebody that they admire, somebody that they see as artistic themselves, somebody they see as very, respected and like very attractive for something that Virgo can do. This is like they admire Virgo in some way. This is not just about like, oh, Virgo's so attractive and they're just turned on by Virgo. This gives us a whole nother layer. Like they recognize the artist in Virgo, the inner light in Virgo. Maybe Virgo is an artist. Maybe they have like fallen in love with Virgo's art somehow. And that in turn has made them drawn toward Virgo. And it's like I look at the inside of Virgo, and that's what's made Virgo so attractive to me. They also kind of feel like, look, I think artists are so great at showing us a world of emotions that we can then see or hear, like depending on what art is, right? If you're a painter and you're painting paintings, I really like impressionistic paintings because I feel like there's a lot more like feeling involved. And I feel like artists, singers, songwriters, poets, all those individuals, they are encapsulating like human emotions and finding ways to express it through visuals or through lyrics or through poetry or through music or through melodies. All those things are an expression of emotions that are so hard to put into words, and they find a creative way to do this. And through that, sometimes we go, wow, I can resonate with that person because they found a way to capture how I feel too, but they put it into words for me, or they put it into music for me, or they put it into a picture for me. And now I feel like I'm connected to them because I know they have felt the same way that I have. So it's like humans being able to identify with each other a human experience that we don't have to use words for. And that might explain why this person feels like they're so crummy with words, but they suddenly will say something and they imagine it won't make any sense. And to a certain extent, it doesn't make sense, but I think to Virgo, it'll make perfect sense. I think this is not going to be a problem for this Virgo, at least from the way I'm seeing it now. But let's check. Let's go ahead and go with a different deck, and let's say, how's Virgo going to receive this message from this person? Five of Pentacles sideways. Like, when I said it's almost like this person is, blurting something out. It doesn't exactly make sense, but it does. And I think Virgo's like, oh, wow, there's a loneliness here, or there's a sorrow here, or there's a, Five of Pentacles, and we see this person like drifting, down river. I think Virgo is like totally able to comprehend, when I was just saying like artists bring stuff to the world that we can all say, oh, wow, I can feel those emotions through, whatever they created. It feels like Virgo is going to pick up very well whatever this person is trying to convey. I think that they want community. I think that they want companionship. I think that they feel like Virgo is some kind of a kindred spirit. Like, maybe you've drifted down river before too. Sometimes maybe you know what it feels like to be isolated sometimes too. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse. If anything, Virgo is understanding that maybe this person has sacrificed a lot for a lot of other people before and been super disappointed, particularly in love. Like this person might be a giver. This is somebody, this is a card of martyrdom. But this could be somebody who has given quite a lot at different points in their life. And Virgo's like, wow, I totally know what this person means. They have, tried to believe in things or people before and surrendered things or given of themselves only to be immensely disappointed. And after having sacrificed a great deal, and then they didn't get anything in return. I completely understand where this person is coming from. 10 of Wands in the reverse. That's a heavy, heavy burden. I think that this Virgo must have gone through something very similar in their own life. I mean, Virgo being a sign of, service. It's so interesting because I feel like this Virgo not only understands and can read between the lines of whatever kind of like tumultuous message this may be, or however this person tries to convey their thoughts to Virgo in whatever, discombobulated way. I think Virgo's like totally gets the gist of it, extrapolates or I should say just extracts the meaning of what they were trying to convey. And I think Virgo immediately is like, I want to like freaking jump up and protect this person. I want to like tell them like, don't despair. Number one, don't feel like you've missed out on opportunities. Don't feel like there isn't love out there. And definitely don't think that every time you give a ton of yourself that it's never reciprocated. I feel like there's this protective surge in Virgo, but also this like fighter spirit with that strength card. Like, oh, hell no. Hell no. This person's a good person. Wow. The Empress and the 10 of Cups. Is this Virgo saying, I'll be damned? I want to say, move, get out the way. Virgo's got to like get to this person and like have a serious conversation. Like, you are mistaken if you think that every thing that you pursue doesn't work out, because I'm standing right here and I'd like this to work out. This almost feels like Virgo wants to reassure this person that no, maybe you've been giving to the wrong people. Try giving to me, because I want what you got. I got a lot to give you in return. give me everything you got. Forget about the people you gave to that didn't give you anything in return. Start giving to me because I want what you got. It almost feels like that's Virgo's vibe here of like, oh hell no. This is we all give to the wrong people sometimes in life. And it feels like, especially if we do it a couple times in a row, yes, Virgo's like, it is freaking devastating. But guess what? I have been there. I have done that. I, went through my own betrayals from people. I didn't deserve the way I got treated, but I got treated that way anyhow. And then I had to heal. 9 of Wands sideways. And it leaves with some scars and it leaves some scar tissue in the heart. But it's really reassuring to know that there are other people out there who've been through the same thing. Remember, this story, if we were to step back and say, what's the real message in this whole story? It is that I'm hearing that song, Everybody Plays the Fool, by Aaron Neville. Falling in love is such an easy thing to do, but there's no guarantee that the one you love is going to love you. It is that common thread that it's like we all sometimes get even repetitiously disappointed, and people that are particularly like loving, giving, willing to kind of like lay themselves on the line. Sometimes you'll do that and you'll not really love too wisely. You'll pick somebody who will take everything. You could lay yourself down on a puddle for them and say, just walk across me. I don't want your feet to get wet. And they'll be like, cool, that's great. Glad you'll do that for me. Hey, here comes another puddle. Lay down. I don't want to get my feet dirty. Remember, that's what you're supposed to do for me. And they'll take it as an entitlement, and they'll use and use and use and use you instead of ever like feeling the same way in return to you. And it kind of feels like the message here is that Virgo knows what it feels like to be used. So too does this other person know what it feels like to be used. But on one hand, one of the best ways to stop being used is to say, hey, hell no, I'm going to give to somebody who I know has a capacity to give back to me. I'm going to go ahead and not get, convinced that everybody's out to use everyone. Maybe I should have expected a little bit more from myself. And maybe there's a lot better out there for me. Let me also fight for me. Let me also stand up and say, no, I deserve better. I have a lot to offer. And I feel like Virgo is maybe a little bit more in that energy. Like I've went through the same lesson. I've been down in the mud before. I felt used. I felt heartbroken. I felt mistreated before, and I had to heal. And then I learned I should fight for me. And I want somebody amazing, and I deserve somebody amazing, and I'll give amazing things to them in return. But they have to be amazing to me. And that's who I'll give to. And I feel like Virgo's like really seeing that in whomever this person is. Virgo's like, hell yeah, you're exactly the kind of person that I would want to give to, because I can see you've been through the same thing. If there is this lesson in here where, like, maybe this is the lesson for a lot of givers, a lot of empaths. And that lesson is like, wow, to learn it, sometimes it's really painful because you keep trying to give to people that are just like, awesome, I'll take everything you've got. You can totally like care about me, take care of me. I'll give you nothing in return. And I think that is eroding, these empaths like energy flow. But I think this is where when these empaths or these givers start to get that lesson learned of like, wait a second, maybe I should be giving to a fellow giver who then would give back to me. And I think that this is brilliant. I think that whomever, we're going to say him just because he starts out here, he's kind of acting like he's fine with this. It doesn't matter. We can see through what he's saying. That's not true at all. This is somebody who's exhausted from being taken advantage of. And this is somebody who wants somebody like Virgo who's not going to take advantage of them. They're maybe a little bit, artistic or, it's hard for them to find the words to say all this. Virgo totally gets it though, because Virgo's been down that same road. And I love the fact that we have possibly two givers who are actually finally going to be able to start giving to each other. I see very good things for these two. I see this as Virgo saying, let me tell you right now, I'm a nurturer myself. And I got a lot I'd like to give to you. And I want what you have to offer. What you have to offer will not be squandered. What you have to give me is something I really want to receive. But in turn, I want to give to you too. I think these two could be freaking amazing together. Universe, you want to weigh in real quick? What's the outcome for these two? Six of Cups, Queen of Cups. They've been waiting their whole lives to meet each other. This is a beautiful. These are soulmates that are meant to be. These are soulmates that have a lot of love to give and receive. And I think this is finally the perfect matchup. Good for them. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.